Hello there, welcome back. Now is the time that the real action in this course is about to start, and in this particular section we're going to start off things by first of all individually understanding and tackling each equipment that you will be needing in order to produce green screen videos. We'll not just be looking at the equipment, we'll also be later on going onto different websites in order to do our shopping, so that by the time this section finishes, you would know exactly what to buy and where to buy from and what exactly is it that you need in order to produce green screen videos. And once you have all these things, from the next section onwards will be the time that we'll actually look at the setup and we'll actually see how to exactly shoot those videos. Right, so let's start off this section by understanding one of the most important things that you will obviously need, which is your green screen, right? So there are a host of different ways to do this. What I'm showing you right now, in my opinion, is probably the most convenient, most accessible, and most importantly, the cheapest solution in order to have a green screen, which is this green colored muslin cloth. So the green backdrops can come in a lot of different varieties. Let me just give you some examples before I actually make you understand and talk more about this green muslin cloth. Some people even do not buy the cloth. What they simply do is, you can see the wall behind, right now it's white. There are actually chroma key colors, paint colors that are available in different shops, and you can approach them and you can tell them, just paint the whole wall with that chroma key color. Usually they come in green and blue, like I've explained you before. That is one option, but then obviously aesthetics come into play, and your other family members may not be too happy with the decision. It may not look too good also, right? So that is the problem with coloring your entire wall with that color, but that some people still go for that option because it's very convenient once it's done. The second option is, a lot of people like to buy backdrop material like this, and you can right now see that these are on backdrop stands, right? But some people do not like to even purchase the stands. They simply paste or tape rather the backdrop material like this in this case to the wall itself. So thereby they don't really have to buy the backdrop stands. But again, that is just going to make things look not so pretty, right? Because there's always something that is hanging on your walls. Considering both these options, I thought the best solution is to have a separate backdrop cloth, like you can see, and have those stands also, so that you can also move this anytime that you want. The only inconvenience is that you will have to go and buy two things. Now, also just something about the cloth itself. Right now, with here you can see the muslin cloth. The material is muslin, but you can also buy this in cotton. You also get polyester, you also get paper. The problem with polyester material is, and why it's not very popular, is because it reflects back the light. Okay, and that can cause color spill, which is something that we'll understand later when we actually start shooting, which is not so good when it comes to green screen video production, especially when it comes to editing. It can just cause a lot of problems if there is that reflection coming on your body when you're shooting your videos. Paper is also good, it's very popular, but it tends to tear often, so it's subject to wear and tear, which is not such a good thing. But again, paper is also used a lot. Cotton and muslin are the materials that are the most popular and the most accessible and the most easily available material which you can buy online is definitely a muslin cloth, and that's exactly what I'm using. So there's no rocket science here. There's just a cloth which is just mounted on these backdrop stands, like you can see here. You can see that we've got our stands here, and I've just used here some clamps that are just holding this cloth, and later on we'll actually be looking at how to buy them. You'll understand how these actually look when they come in a package and when you'll be buying them. Right now, a couple of important things that you should pay attention to when you are using this setup of a cloth and a backdrop stand. The number one thing, and one of the most important things when it comes to green screen, is that your screen should be even. There should not be too many wrinkles visible to the naked eye also. Though, to be frank, trust me, when I teach you editing later on in this course, you'll find that even if you have a few wrinkles, it's fine. Most of these good editing softwares will be able to handle that. But the more smooth and the more plain it is, there's no doubt that that is much, much better. So the solution to that is, because obviously this is a cloth, it is going to have wrinkles. So the solution to this is to use more clamps. Let me show you. I've got like a couple of clamps here, and what I like to do is simply stretch it out, okay? So just go to the side of your backdrop and, just stretch it a bit, like this. I may not be able to do it perfectly because this sometimes you just need to spend more time with it, but you can see here, it's just immediately, the moment I did that, it just took away the wrinkles from there. And similarly, I can just do it here. You can see that this really starts to make it look good. But let me just also put these clamps and then we'll continue our discussion. All right, so now you can see that this looks much more smooth, and this is really going to increase the video production quality ultimately when we take it to our editing softwares. And don't be afraid to stretch these cloths. They are very durable and it just does the job very well. Now, a couple of important points that you should remember apart from stretching this, which are the height of this backdrop. What I usually suggest is that if you're planning to make your green screen videos by standing like this in front of the backdrop, then definitely just have at least around 1 feet of distance above your height. Okay, just leave that much of room, because ultimately when you frame your camera, obviously it's important that your head should be below the green screen. So give it a bit of distance and that should be fine. One other important thing that you should remember is the wall behind. Okay, try to shift your backdrop as much as possible closer to the wall. Okay, because a lot of these muslin cloths, they are slightly light in nature, especially the cheaper ones. There's nothing wrong with that, but the problem is if you place it too far away from the wall, it can just appear a bit translucent because light can be seen through, and that can cause a bit of problems when it comes to editing your videos, because it'll be tough for your software to see those translucent pixels. Okay, so make it as close to the wall as possible. For me, there's a piece of furniture behind the wall, that's why there's a bit of distance, but because that furniture is also dark in color, it really does not matter. Okay, but try to push it as much as you can. That's why a lot of people actually also like to tape the green screen onto the wall, like I mentioned before, because then there's absolutely no distance and it's fully opaque. Also, another thing that I like to point out is that do not worry about the wrinkles that you see towards the ending, right? Where I've put the clamps, there are bound to be some wrinkles. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect everywhere. The reason for that is wherever you will be standing, okay, we'll mainly be requiring the green screen around your body. We'll actually be masking out the extremes, and that is done in order to make our editing very, very convenient. But that is a point that you'll understand when we actually go to the editing part later on. But the basic point is the area that is around you. For example, if I'm standing like this, the central area is very, very important. That is the area that should be smooth. And apart from that, there's really nothing else. What we're going to do right now is, because you understood this setup already, I'm just going to show you some other alternatives also instead of this one, which we have not discussed till now. And then also we will be going on to some websites and doing some actual shopping for the three things, which are the backdrop, the clamps, which are very important, and also the backdrop stand. So I'll see you there.